Hi, brothers and sisters. I'm Michael White, your legislative liaison for the Washington State Council of Firefighters. This is your Week 2 weekly update coming live to you from the House Gallery where we passed a bill earlier. But first I wanted to introduce you to AJ Johnson. He is our legislative liaison intern this year. It's a new program we started to get some better membership engagement, get our members learning about the legislative process. It's quite long, quite difficult, and so trying to get that figured out. AJ, you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I'm AJ Johnson. I'm a firefighter at South Snohomish County Fire and Rescue Regional Fire Authority, Local 1828. I'm also the treasurer and political action director. I've been involved with this union for about 10 years now, and really excited to be here, and I've learned a lot in the last 2 weeks.
This week's issue highlight is post-traumatic stress disorder. We have two bills moving through the legislative process: House Bill 1655, which is prime sponsored by John Lovick, and Senate Bill 6214, which is prime sponsored by Steve Conway. These bills look to do two things. One is establish that firefighters and cops can make an occupational disease claim for PTSD. This means that you can file the claim from repeated exposures, and also allow the claim to be approved up to 2 years from the date of determination, as opposed to the restrictions of 1 year from the date of this specific incident. The House bill passed out of this chamber on a wide bipartisan margin, 85-11, earlier today. And the Senate bill had a public hearing earlier this week, and we are fine-tuning it and should be voted out of the Senate Labor and Commerce Committee with also hopefully bipartisan support.
Hello everybody, I'm Jeff Simpson, one of your lobbyists here in Olympia, and I'm standing here in the House Gallery, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the legislature this week. I know Mike's given an update on the PTSD and the OC disease issues, but let's just talk a little bit about procedurally what's happening. It's the second week of session. Bills are still being introduced to this date. I've heard that I've had legislators tell me they've had more bills introduced this session than any session in recent memory. And I'm not sure if that's true or not, but all our bills are being introduced. We've gotten sponsors. We're having them introduced into committee hearings, and working with chairpersons to give us hearings on the bill, and we're making comments on bills that are introduced that we're monitoring, and we're just kind of working through the first half of the legislative process, which is if we have a House bill, it goes through the House committee. If we have a Senate bill, it goes through the Senate committee, and that's where we stand in the legislative process right now. We've had some hearings on the PTSD bills, no other hearings on any of other bills right now, but they are being introduced, and we're working with chairpersons to get those bills heard as soon as possible. And that's really kind of what's going on right now in the legislative session.